And good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well this fine morning. It is not as cold as I would think it would be here in January in the middle of the desert, but it's going to be a beautiful day around the 70s, and I hope the rest of you in the other parts of the country are going to be warm and safe. It's pretty icy and slick in some parts of the country. My name is Jeff Perryman. For those of you who don't know, I am the artist for Chain Reaction Studios, and this is my vlog, live stream. Not sure what I want to address this as, but this is Vectors and Pixels, where I take an hour or so to sit down and do some artwork and have you join me, and we giggle, we laugh, you ask me questions, and we have a lot of fun, I hope. At least I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of friends drop by who tease me, who urge me on, and I love it. We're just going to give it a few moments here for everybody to get all warmed up into the chat, get people in, and pretty much just kind of have a chill day today. My goal today is not really anything too intense. I figure I would do something simple. Somebody said that I should do more landscape type things, that they really liked how I draw my landscapes. And so I thought I'd draw a tree. And I thought I would also lay out something for like a canvas print. This would be for a small 11 by 14 print. So just kind of play around with it. So it'd be a little bit smaller scale than I'm accustomed to drawing my things for. Oops, I got a little itch. Don't you hate that? Doing something important and your face decides to erupt in little itches. It's usually when I'm trying to lay down and get some sleep, and then like every point, not all at once. No. That would be convenient, because then you just go and you'd be done, right? No. Get comfortable. Ear. Get comfortable. Eyebrow. Just... I hate that. So... most annoying part about going to sleep, or for that matter, do anything that I'd like. While I have all of you here, I'm sure that you can... Oops, is it this one? Yeah, this one. Aha, this one. Everything's backwards to me. You see I have, there, three things on my placard there. I have Skuttled, DN Comics, and Battle Badges. Now, recently I just launched a page for the game Battle Badges, which is just a fun little game. I have an example right here, which of course is going to be way too shiny, so I have to be careful how I show it. And we were modeling new shields, and I think the last live stream I did daggers for different classes so that we can 3D print them up. This is just a sword, kind of a prototype. Has a magnet, which has that wonderful satisfying to it. So that's the first game that I launched, and it has its own Facebook page. Not a lot going on right now, but you can find it at Battle Badges on Facebook. And if you want to know about rules updates or tournaments or what is this game about, soon that information will be there and you can go and learn all about it. The more exciting news that I have is this one, the first one, Skuttled. Now, I've talked about Skuttled here on my live stream before, and as you can see, I have a box with rules and, more importantly, cards. And one or two stay in the box. This is a game that is a lot of fun. And it's similar to games that you already know how to play. We're not reinventing the wheel. But the way you play it is a whole nother story. This is a game of piratical shenanigans. And I'm very happy to announce that on May 25th, which is 2 days before Phoenix Fan Fusion, we're going to launch a Kickstarter. And it's going to go live, where if you are interested in this game, which I'll talk about in a little more depth as we get a little bit closer to that date, you can order your own deck of Skuttled to play with your family and friends. For those of you who are going to be out at the Ren Fair down here in Arizona, the Pantsless Pirates will be playing this game out at the grassy knoll, the area where the elephants are usually kept or used to be kept. I don't know if the elephants will be joining us. Things have changed all over the world, and our fair is no exception. But I am very excited. Here's the art. We even have our own UPC code now. That was a big step for me. Good morning, everybody. Yay, Kickstarter, yes. It will be May 25th, and if you follow me, good morning, Jennifer. If you follow me, or if you follow the Pantsless Pirates, or of course you're here on the Chain Reaction Studios page, then you'll see a little bumper that's pinned to the top of all three of those pages, which talks about this game. And we'll go into more depth and more detail as we get closer to that date. But I just kind of want to put it out there, since this is where I've talked about the game first, and this is where I've talked about the game the most. And soon you'll be able to order your own copy from the Kickstarter. So I'm excited to at least drop that pin out there. We've got several months before this can happen, but I wanted to put the old brain worm out there and put it in your ear. So that's Skuttled. Meanwhile, why don't we go over here to animate, and I have a canvas prepared. Let's zoom out just a little bit more. There we go. Where I'm going to attempt to entertain, dazzle, and befuddle you, which I'm really good at all of those things, and just kind of draw a tree today. So I've already set it up a little bit. I have a canvas. These are my parameters. Since this is going to get wrapped around a frame, we see there's a good portion between the red and the blue line where the canvas must be wrapped to meet the back. And I suspect they don't really cut these, but between this dark blue line and the edge here is where supposedly they'll cut it, but I actually think this is where it gets glued to the back, where they do their perfect corners and so forth. So somebody suggested I do more terrain, so we're going to do some terrain. Ooh, hey Travis, man, you did catch me live. Welcome, 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 my old friend. We're going to be doing art. We're going to just be being silly. If you got any questions, if you want to know more about this silly thing here called Skuttled, there we go. This silly thing here called Skuttled. I've got the smaller camera, so I don't know where things are half the time. I'm still learning. Please, just ask away. If I'm not able to answer it, my moderators can answer it. But today, I'm just going to kind of freeform. I'm like, we're gonna do some art. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my brush tool. I'm just going to, ooh, that's way small, but it'll do the job. Let's make that like a big 4, and I'm just going to put a color here that I chose earlier. And the only reason I want to make that mess right there is so I can pick that color later, just so I can mess around with it. I think I want to start with, honestly, let's insert a layer. Let's call it sky. It's always kind of nice to start with a sky. Oh, the man said, what is Skuttled? Well, let me pop over here and allow me to elucidate. I love it when my friends derail me because it's so much fun. So, all right, Skuttled. It does exist. Here is an actual copy. Now, this is a prototype copy, so I can't just like go, here you go, you can buy it for me today. Send me $20 million and ta-da! No, it's nothing like that. This is a prototype version of the game. As you can see, it has rules. And we have cards. Let me see if I get that one card that kind of, or 2 cards that are stuck in there. That's better. And what it is, it's a game. We've all played a similar game. What it is, it's a card shedding game where you have a hand of cards and You play color upon color or number upon number. Recognize it? There's a Spanish game out there called One. Very similar. Now, what sets this game apart from that kind of card shedding game is that our specialty cards, which we have several, Davy Jones's Locker, Cannonballs, where you draw 2 cards, all players switch hands. Stuff like that we have more of in our deck. And the most important rule of this game is that all cards' effects must happen first. Now, we also have specialty cards like the Letter of Marque, and we have the Warrant card. Now, these play very similar to the ones that you would be familiar with in that they're wild cards. In our game, you don't have to justify playing a wild card. You can just play it when it's your turn. A Warrant card forces the next player to draw 4 cards, and you get to declare the color. Sound familiar? The Letter of Marque just lets you choose the color. However, what's a little bit different is the Letter of Marque will allow you to cancel the draw portion of a Warrant card. So if somebody plays, aha, Warrant on you, haha, you've got to play 4 cards. You go, Letter of Marque, blue. You get in a situation with some of these cards where, and I think mine are still in order here. I'm looking to see if I can find some of the evil cards. You can't win the game. You have 1 card in your hand, but you can't win. Because if you play, for example, a Squall card, which is everybody changes hands. Alright, last card, ha ha ha, I win. No. Card is played, everyone switches hands, which now means your empty hand goes to the next player, and they win. You don't. It's an evil game, and so is it here? Do I have it nearby? The most important card in the game, which is not readily available, is the direction of play, because the direction of play switches all the time. No, 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 don't say that Spanish word. No, 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 it's 1. Yes. It plays very much like that game. Except, like I said, all the effects take place. I'm so down. Yes, this is a crap on your neighbor game like you would not believe. Oh my goodness. Like shenanigans here. The shenanigan cards. Next player switches hands with any player of their choice. It forces them to switch hands. Maelstrom changes the direction of play. Yeah, more like Crazy Eights. Davy Jones, Locker, skip a turn. Cannonballs. Oh, I love the Cannonballs card. It's very similar to one. It stacks, because they're cannonballs. So I play this card on you. You have to draw 2 cards unless you have one of these. And then you can play one, and then the next person has to draw 4 cards. But if they have one, the next person has to draw 6 cards, so forth and so on and so on. Then we have, is it here? We have a card called Stuck with the Tab, which I think is earlier on in my deck. Stuck with a Tab means, so where can one acquire this? I'll tell you in just a second, Travis. Shots fired! Shots fired! Right? Stuck with a Tab is a cool little card because that means the next person has to draw 1 card from every player in the game. And the bigger the game, the more dangerous that card is. Unless they have a Stuck with a Tab. Now, Stuck with a Tab does not stack, which means that if this person, you play a Stuck with a Tab on that person, then that person plays a Stuck with a Tab. That doesn't mean they choose 2 cards. It just means the next person gets stuck with a tab. You're passing the bill around. And so this goes until someone can't throw a Stuck with a Tab card. And it's fun. It's literally an amazing crap on your neighbor game. It plays very familiar. Yes, it's the Spanish game, Jennifer. Like I said, we did not reinvent the wheel. We just kind of refined the rules. And we do have more specialty cards in here than what I've described. Like, I haven't talked about the Kraken. Let's talk about the Kraken. I miss you too. You have been on so many adventures lately. The Kraken, which of course is hidden in the deck somewhere, and of course since I'm looking for it, it's not going to pop up because the Kraken pops up when you least expect it. The Kraken card is simple. You play the card, and everybody, no one knows when exactly, everybody must throw their hand away. They must put it in the discard pile and draw 8 new cards. Which, if you're sitting there with, your hand looking like this, which this is not far from the truth sometimes, that's a great card to throw. But the problem is that it resets the round. It doesn't end the game. It resets the round. So everyone discards their hand and draws 8 new cards. The Kraken is taken out of the deck at that point, sat next to the person with a captain's card. We have a captain's card which tells you which direction play is, and that person is the dealer, and that person also settles all squabbles. So if there's rules that are not clear, which we hope everything's clear, but let's say there's rules that are not clear, or there's a situation that we didn't think of, because those do happen, then the captain makes the decision. The nice thing is that captain card moves around, so everyone has a say eventually, just like a true pirate crew. It's democratic. So the Kraken card is removed, sat by the captain, so it can't save you any more. And the game continues until someone wins. At that point, the Kraken card is taken and put back into the deck as it's shuffled back together for another game. There are other cards that we are experimenting with, like the Black Dot, the Pirate King, and then I forget what the Storm one was, but I forget the name of it. Oh, Shipwreck. And I don't want to talk about those until we've ironed out those, but there will be kind of expansions. We also have different colors. Right now it is black. We have black, red, purple, and I mean purple, and then blue. But if the game is very popular and people want to expand it to much larger games, then we have white, orange, green, and I think yellow, which are the same deck, just different colors. That would expand the deck for much larger games. This game plays amazingly well with 3 people, and we have played it up to 7, and I have it suggested for play groups from 3 to 8, and then the ages are from basically 8 years old and up. And the reason I say 8 is just some of the shenanigans that you can pull on each other with this game. Probably an older child, a slightly older child, would appreciate more than a younger child. Now, the question was, how do I get my hands on one of these? And I did not want this to be a promo for Skuttled, but while we're here. In May 25th, 2 days before Phoenix Fan Fusion starts, we are going to start a Kickstarter for this game. Now, as you can see, the game exists. Here it is. It's in my hand. There's no more artwork to be done. The rules have been ironed out. We have boxes. And as I said, I even have a UPC code, which for me was a huge thing. It's not a big deal. Just go, click, you've got one. But this felt like a huge step to me. The problem is this box, this one right here, this is $60. No one wants to pay that for a box of cards. That's just too expensive. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch a Kickstarter. We're going to have a much better price point of around $30. That may change, but $30 seems to be the sweet spot to get these made, delivered to me, so that I can deliver them to you. And you can buy as many of them as you want at this point. If we're going to set a number, we need to sell X number of these boxes before we pull the trigger, because with Kickstarter, it's an all or nothing. You set a goal, and if you make that goal, then they start the process of collecting the funds so that you can send whatever your product out to be produced. If you don't make that goal, then no one loses any money. And then we try again a little bit later. Maybe try a different price point or different ways to entice people to buy this. But basically what I'm doing is, you want a copy of this. When the Kickstarter launches, order as many as you want. And if we hit the number that we need to put a order to get the price so that it is only $30, then we'll pull the trigger. And if not, then we'll regroup and we'll figure it out. But the game exists. It plays amazingly well. I was very surprised how diverse this game is and how much different it is to the Spanish Game of One, or Crazy Eights, that is kind of based on, or at least borrows the rules from. It's a very subtle change, but it's dynamic enough that you will giggle for days. So that's what this is. Let's go back to something a little more boring. Me drawing a tree. I love my friends. And I love being derailed. Thank you so much for asking that question, Travis. I did not want this to be a sales pitch, but I was excited. I was able to put a little pin, and so that you can remember the date that when that's going to start. It's on my personal page, pinned at the top. It's clearly on the Chain Reaction Studios page, pinned at the top, squirrel right. And then if you follow Pantsless Pirates, which the captain does Wormmate.io, and us playing WoW and being silly, like jumping off of mountains with goblin gliders to see how far we go before we die. Those are always fun to watch and fun to make for us. So you will see it pinned at the top of that one there. But meanwhile, back over here. This is not so exciting anymore. Tree. You know what? If people want, I can pull up some of the art for the cards, because I did it in this program as well. And I can show you some of the cards and talk about the rules for those cards for those who are interested. Otherwise, we can draw a tree. So, hands of people who want to see cards. I'm going to stand here like Vanna White for 5 minutes. And those who want to see a tree. The cards, says Travis. Anyone else? Well, one vote. Ooh, cards. Okay. We have at least two. That's 2/3 votes right there. I love these things. I never know who's going to stop by. All right, so we'll leave this here. Let's go over, and you don't see me opening these things. I've really got to fix that. There's advantages and disadvantages of you seeing what I'm doing, because right now all you see is just my cursor moving around, but I actually have folders opening up. And we're going to go to my playing cards. Now I have different decks of cards, only one of which has ever been published, but I have, you know, the Silly Macabre, which you can still get. I have a Cthulhu deck I'm working on, and a 1950s Streamline 3-color deck, which is done and ready to go. I have kind of another hex base deck. I have other stuff going on here. But for now, let's see. Let's go to the flash files. And let's go ahead and go to the back of the card real quick. I don't know how this is going to pop up. It's going to pop up really huge. So let's go to 50%. So this is the back of the card, Skuttled, which you can see, and this is on all the artwork that we're doing. So that one's not a big deal, but let's go File, and let's open up. And very similar, let's find the Kraken, because we're all about that Kraken. Back of card, layout. H, L, M. Where's the Kraken? Did I just lose the Kraken in my folder? Which, you know, like I said, the Kraken shows up when the Kraken wants to show up. And you think it's out there, it is. Alright, so let's talk about this card right here. Let's go to 75. So here's the Kraken. Everyone discards their hand and draws 8 new cards. Sounds polite. Oh, we get to reset the... No. If you are sitting in a game and you have this card as your last card, you don't win, they don't win, nobody wins. Game gets reset from the beginning. Any strategies that you thought you had just went out the door. These are the gold cards. Oh, I'm going to show you some sneaky ideas for a couple of the experimental cards that we're working with. So let's see, there's the Warrant, there it is, Shipwreck. I think this is the gold version of the Shipwreck. And it's real simple. The next player discards their hand and draws 8 new cards. Not everybody, just that guy. I'm experimenting with this as a specialty gold card. We're also thinking about doing this as a color card, like a purple, a black, a blue, and a red, and putting 2 of those in the deck so that they come up more often. Specialty card, there's only 2 at the most in the whole game, whereas this would put 8 in the game. So we have to play test that and see if there's balance. We haven't done that yet because the artist is lazy and hasn't ordered a small deck to test this with. That's on me. But so this is the idea behind the Shipwreck card. And this is the version of it as gold. Let's see, where's the black spot? Where is it? Did I do it as the black spot or did I do it as just the black spot? Black spot. Now this is a gold card. Definitely. Let's put this at 75, I think we said. This card can never be played. If this card is in your hand, you cannot win. You can't lay this card down. You can't win if this card is in your hand. This card pretty much is the biggest snafu of the game. However, the game is full of squall cards. Tisk, tisk, tisk. You need to order so we can play. Oh, you really want to play test these in that environment? Oh, we'll talk. If we can do that, these are ready to rock. I just need to come up with art for the Pirate King, which there isn't a card to show for that yet. This card, the only way you can get this card out of your hand is if someone plays a squall card, which means everybody hands off their hand in the direction of play. So if the arrow's going this way, you do it this way. If the arrow's going, you do it this way. You cannot win with this card in your hand. You cannot get rid of this card. The only way to get rid of this card is, I don't know, somebody does stuck with a tab and they take it from you. Or you switch hands because of a squall. Or if someone decides they like your hand because they're forced to take the hand of somebody of their choice and you've got that in your hand. This one's going to take a little bit of play testing, but this is probably the biggest in the game. We thought it was the Kraken. I think it's going to be the Black Spot because it's the most annoying, useless card, and that makes it beautiful. Now, we've all played the Spanish game. Can you imagine this card? Under those circumstances. This is the biggest, oh my god, herc in the game. This is where the Pirate King card comes up. Now, I don't remember the rules exactly for the Pirate King, but the Pirate King card can only be played as your last card. I don't know if we're going to allow it to affect the Black Spot or not. The black card, the Pirate King card, can only be played as your last card, but it cannot be blocked from being played. So if someone skips your turn, you're like, nope, Pirate King, and I still win. And it's an interesting thought, and that's another one we're going to have to balance out and play around with. But these are some of the experimental cards we're playing around with. Just kind of give you guys an idea of where we are and what we're doing and kind of the stuff that I'm percolating in the back of my little brain with lots of help. If you think I'm doing this by myself, you guys are sorely wrong. I have lots of help for these shenanigans. Let's see. Let's open up. Let's see. What would be another good card? Oh, yeah, let's do a Stuck with a Tab card so you can at least see one, because I couldn't find one in my deck, and this is the black one here. So here's Stuck with a Tab, which I've already explained. Stuck with a Tab. Take one card from each player. If one of those cards happens to be the black spot, yeah. See where this is going? The Spanish game, which we are using as a baseline, because everybody knows how to play that game. We've been playing Shed Your Hand games long before the Spanish game came along. It's just that that company popularized it. They have 108 cards in their deck. As this box stands, there is 126 cards, and we are talking about adding, 10 more-ish to them. Do they get to choose what card they give you, or no? It is a blind pick. That's the even worse part about it, is you could choose that card yourself as you're pulling cards snottily from everybody. So you're not only getting screwed because you're adding to your hand, but you might get a card you can't get rid of. But if you have a Kraken, not only you throw the Kraken, the black spot goes away, but it gets back into the deck, whereas the Kraken goes away and can't save you anymore. It has different strategies, and the other thing is because of how often your hands move, or people are taking your cards or taking your hand, any strategy that you have in your head goes away. It's fleeting. It's like, haha, I have this plan. It's no longer your hand. It is so fleeting. But the other thing is that if you're one of those players that has a hard time not showing people your cards as you're playing, that's okay. You'll know what everybody has eventually, because squaws get played a lot, and there are plenty of opportunities for hands to move around. In fact, if there's a Kraken in the game, the person who has the Kraken initially is keeping track of where the Kraken is, and then each time the Kraken goes to a new person, they're tracking where the Kraken is, and after a while you lose the Kraken, and we're like, oh god, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And it's fun to do. It's also fun to play in larger games where you have the cannonballs, where you have to pick 2. And if you can lay a cannonball, then they have to pick 4. And if they lay a cannonball, then the next person has to play 6, and so forth and so on. And we've had that go full circle in a smaller game. And you play because you've just switched hands, and so you know that person has a cannonball because it was your hand, and you acquire a cannonball, so you're like, haha, follow me. And then you start screwing people around the game. So it's a fun little game. I know you in particular, Jennifer, are going to be working the escape room at Fair. By the way, come down to the escape room down by the Grassy Knoll area. It's where the old stables used to be. We're going to be playing this out there, so if you get a break, come on over, and you see us playing, jump in. It's real easy to jump in with one of these games, okay? Yes, come on over, jump in. Wow, this turned into like an infomercial. That's the word I was looking for, is an infomercial. I was going to draw a tree, but now we're doing an infomercial. Break, what's a break? I know, right? Okay, when you escape from the escape room, the little, because we only ever see you in that little jail that you're in. We have some great pictures, but you're always in that little jail. Should you escape that little jail that you're in from the escape room, come over and see us, and we will play this game. All right. Like I said, I didn't intend this to become an infomercial, so I may not be putting this one on my YouTube channel, but I think I will anyway, because this is fun. We're not doing any art whatsoever. I'm just showing old art. And to be fair, I had no real idea what I wanted to do today, so this was great. We still need to find enough staff to run it. Well, that's true. We'll just kidnap you. We are pirates, after all. Okay, I'm wearing a fez, so I'm more like an Illuminati at the moment. But, yeah, we can always kidnap you and force you to play a round or two. So, that'll happen. You find the staff. We'll find random people and just stuff them in there. So you stand here, sell stuff, put the money there. We'll be back, and we'll do that. But all right, so stuck with a tab. What else do we have here? Let's open. Okay, here's another one I didn't get a chance to really show off. It's a very simple card, and wow, it's red. This is the Maelstrom card I was really talking about. Is it really kidnapping if I consent? No, not really. It's not kidnapping if they consent. But you can kick and scream and go, yep, 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 all you want. It'll be fun. Here's the Maelstrom card. There are 8 of these in the current deck. So with that number, you can see hands moving quite often. Between this and Stuck with the Tabs, which are also, I believe, are 8 in the game. I love a good role play. We'll bring the rope. Oh, yes, role play. Yes, role play. Well, I'll bring the dice. Yeah, that. This card alone is responsible for more heartache and silliness. And for people who can count cards, you know who I'm talking about. Evil, because they keep track of these. They know where certain cards are, and they'll flip the order of play so as to be able to use their current hand, and I do mean current because it won't be their hand for long, to their advantage. Or because they'll know, if I play this card, then my old hand will come to me, or Captain's original hand, which had some couple of good cards, will come to me. The level of shenanigans that can be had is amazing and mind-blowing. So there's a lot of depth to such a simple concept game by just changing the number of cards, changing the priority of how cards are played. Like I said, you can have this card right here, the Maelstrom, in your hand as your last card, and you cannot win the game. It is impossible, because the Maelstrom reversed the order. Okay, that's just reversing the order, not the Maelstrom. I'm thinking of Squall. Sorry, Squall. This changes the direction of play. I'm sorry. I'm not even paying attention to what's written in front of me in letters this bloody big. Oh, look, it reverses the order of play. So much better now. I'm recording this too. That's the hard part. No, the card I'm thinking of, let's open, Squall, is this one. It's the Squall. All players switch hands, and that is in the order of direction, which the previous card can change the direction of play. That's why we have, let's put this at 75 real quick. That is why the most important card in the whole game, where is it? Captain's card, is this card right here. All this card does, it's not even played, it's just sat in front of whoever's the dealer. And it's their responsibility to turn this card as necessary to indicate direction of play. When we were doing initial play tests, it got so hard to remember the order, because with the squalls and a lot of other things that are going on in the game, switches the direction of play, or is very dependent on the direction of play. We needed something to go, okay, which way is things going? And so the Captain's card is the 126th card. There's really 125 playing cards in this box. In this box right here. This is the one card that doesn't get used by the players, but is rather just to keep track of everything. And when I say it is the most important card, I mean it. When you start playing Skuttled, by the way, instead of saying that other word, one, you say Skuttled. And if you don't call Skuttled and someone catches you, you've got to draw 2 cards, right? No big deal. Here's another rule that is in the game. Cheating, because we're pirates, is allowed. I'm going to repeat that. Cheating is allowed as long as you don't get caught. If you get caught, it's a 4-card penalty. And there's some creative examples of cheats that have been used in the game. Because we're using Roman numerals, the easiest cheat is to throw a 4 on a 6, which is an IV for 4 and a VI for 6. Now, a lot of people will do it on accident because those cards are very similar and upside down, right side up, left, right, and center kind of thing. That's why there's a skull in the background of the cards so that you know which way's up. That's the easiest cheat. I'm not going to explain the other cheats. That's what the captain's for. So when he has a forum at this point, when we're launched, he will probably go into great detail on 2 or 3 very subtle cheats that you can and cannot get away with in the game. But I cannot stress, cheating is allowed. Just don't get caught. Anything that the other players can do to stuff your hand full of cards, they're going to do. And the other very, very subtle difference in our game, you do have a few options for cheating, you blackguard, is the effects, and I can't stress this more, the effects of the cards must take place first before you can move on. Now, if somebody doesn't call it Skuttled, and nobody calls them on it, and someone else plays a card, they have gotten away with it. And usually, we give them a beat or two. If somebody lays their second to last card down, 1001, we might say something to the effect of, nice Skuttled you got there. If someone receives a Skuttled because everyone had to switch hands, they're allowed to look at the card, but then they need to call Skuttled. Otherwise, everyone else can get them. As long as someone else doesn't play a card, they can be got. So that's kind of important to remember that as well, because we are pirates. We like doing bad things to each other. I should be wearing my pirate hat instead of this here. Maybe next. As we get closer to the stream, I'll start transitioning to my pirate hat. Be more piratical as I do my art. Jeff, the pirate artist. Anyway, yay infomercial, May 25th. Skuttled. Wow, that is I've got a lot of reflections going on here. Look at that. Skuttled. The Kickstarter will be launched, and at that time, you can order copies of the game. We're going to try to come up with varying ways for you to order multiple copies and maybe save a little bit of money here and there. I'm coming up with ideas for possible rewards. The problem I have with Kickstarter is that I want to make this thing. Well, in order to entice people to give me money, I have to give them another thing. Well, that means that's another thing I have to raise money for to produce. And so now I'm not just producing this thing, I'm producing the thing and the tchotchke. Or I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. And I do have some ideas for it, but my original idea for this is that if you want this, order it. And we're just going to happen to use Kickstarter to do a batch order. And if we get enough people ordering a batch, then we'll send the batch off. If we don't get enough people to order the batch, then we'll try again. Because they're an all or nothing, I'm really trying to eliminate that glare. There we go. It's not the most ideal way, but because I chose, this is M31 linen. So these are casino grade cards. You're not going to be able to see them in this shot very well. But you can see little pips, and like I said, I don't think this camera can pick it up. but little pips in the reflection, and that's because these cards have a texture to them because they're linen. These are made with linen. I wouldn't say they're waterproof, or definitely water resistance, because we've put them through their paces, and we've played our original, which Captain has still, deck, our original mock-up deck, which looks a lot different than this card here. And this card will change just a little bit because that highlight might move to the corner if I can convince the printer to not freak out on me. They wear very nicely. I wanted the experience to be good. I don't want to just like, I'm going to try to make a buck off of everybody. No, I want everyone to have an experience. And that's what this box is about. There's something about a box when you do an opening that's satisfying. And I made sure to have a nice little rule book that was all color, that explained everything as best I could. So here's our rule book. Everything, and you know, there's a walk through the gameplay. Here's the explanation of all the different cards and what they can do. There's even a way to play the game for points, which we haven't done yet as a playtesters, so that might augment a little bit. But I wanted this to be a very complete experience. So I chose materials that are just a little higher end. The number of cards, the shape has nothing to do with how expensive it is to produce this deck. It really comes down to the number of cards, because it's the cards per sheet of paper. We have 126. We can bump that number up to, I think, 132 without changing the price. So that's why we're thinking about some of these other cards that we're experimenting with. But I wanted to make sure there was quality for your dollar. I don't want to put out something cheap and have it fall apart in a year. I want this to be a game that you guys can play with your family and friends for years and years to come, and hold up and look beautiful, not be chintzy and not be cheap. And that's on me. I could make this a lot cheaper. I could just say, you don't get a box, and rules are online, deal with it. And I'm going to do print on demand and use crappy paper, because that's what those places do. They make really crappy paper. These will make excellent gifts. And hey, look, they're the right size to fit in a stocking for next Christmas. I would like to think that once you get your hands on one of these, you're going to want to buy 2 or 3 more to give as gifts to your friends, because it's just so much fun. And if enough people buy enough of these, this will allow us to continue expanding this game, as well as other games that I have in my little fuzzy brain that I want to make. I have ideas for another kind of card game where you have to eliminate your friends' fleets. I have a role-playing game that is set in my Dungeon Notes universe. Of course, my comics and all those things are going to be part of this as well. So hopefully this will hit a nice soft spot with everybody, to the point that they will enjoy it so much for its quality and for its gameplay and for its replayability and just general fun, that they want to share it with everyone else. And that's my goal, is when you do that, I want them to have that experience as well. There's just an experience to opening a box that is quality. So this is why we're doing Kickstarter the way we're doing it, and hopefully we'll be successful and we'll be able to get these to everybody. So anyway, blah 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 blah. Were there any more questions from chat? Because otherwise I'm going to attempt to draw that tree again. Let me close out some of these files. It's funny, I called this stream "Da Tree." It's episode 11. There it is. Aha. Episode 11. Da Tree. So I have to buy like 5 copies? Well, I would like you to buy like 5 copies. You don't have to. 1 will do. But hopefully you'll enjoy it enough that you'll want to buy 4 more for 4 friends or family members. Down the road, like I said, one of the thoughts was offering alternative colors. Not sure how that would work though. Oh, I need to make sure it gets sent. 10. Yes, well, I cotton 10. 10. I 10 is a pretty penny, even at the price that we're hoping to be able to sell it at. If we're successful enough, we're hoping to get the attention of distributors. In order to do that, you have to have kind of a nice track record with sales in general, things like that. But that is way down the road. That's probably a year or two down the road for us as a group. And I have other things I want to make that hopefully will get us to that goal as well. But this game is simple. Everyone understands the concepts immediately. It's the subtleties that make it different and the flavor of the cards that make it different, such as the proposed shipwrecks, stuck with the tab, the Kraken. These kinds of cards, I think, set us apart from the Spanish game. I think we're a lot more fun than the Spanish game because this can be played by kids, and I encourage it to be played by kids. But when you get a room full of adults playing this game, it's spectacular to watch. The amount of shenanigans and evil grins and people peeking over their cards at each other going, or, oh God, you know, shots fired, just people are throwing cannonballs down. And just the things you could do to each other. It's hysterical. When this goes live on YouTube, it must be shared to the Bra group. You know what? I agree. If Bra would allow such shenanigans, and we're all members of Bra. I think everybody on the stream right now is a member of Bra. I agree. I think Bra would love, because this a wee dram of scotch, and you got a good night right there. But it also can be played, like I said. I'm recommending, let's see, let me make sure I'm not lying here. My own box, and I don't even know what's on it. I am recommending 8 years old and up, just because of the complexities of some of the strategies. Now, 5-year-olds could probably play this game. 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds probably enjoy it as well. I just think there are certain complexities that a slightly older child would appreciate more, but that doesn't mean younger kids can't play this game, and I encourage it. It teaches them Roman numerals if nothing else. But like I said, you get this box of cards in the hands of a bunch of adults, friendships will be tested. In a good way. In a good way. But yes, this live stream, which we're coming up at 53 minutes, Matt and Jen at Fair, and show them a game, please do. This will go up onto my, I have a Chain Reaction YouTube channel. There's a handful of hour-long, because I do hour-long streams, and I just repost this stream right now. At some point, I'm going to go ahead and get a membership to OBS, and that means I'm going to be able to stream simultaneously to Facebook, to YouTube, and possibly to Twitch, so that we have more platforms to show this off. And as we move forward, we're going to be having box games. Sorry for what I did, and Skuttled cakes will be an... Oh, that is brilliant. I wonder if we can get hex-shaped cakes with this logo on it. With that... Oh, you're brilliant, Travis. I love that. Sorry what I did in Skuttled cakes will be a new thing. I like that idea a lot. Plus, I like cake. Prefer pie, but I like cake. Yes. Friendships will be tested with this game. Simple, subtle changes that just make it evil. And evil, you know, spelled backwards is live. And we all want to live now, don't we? Living well is the best revenge. So, I'm coming up on 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes till I have to be done with this stream. This stream will be available on the YouTube channel, which is Chain Reaction. Let's see, Travis says, dude, if you go Twitch, let me know. I'm a member of a few creators' stream channels. It's huge right now. Your art and D&D stuff would skyrocket. Really? Well, that's just the story of my life. I always grab the wrong platform. I'm on Facebook right now. We'll change this, though, moving forward. I have been fairly consistent keeping this schedule. I think I've only missed it once or twice. Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, Arizona time, for those of you who are watching this after the fact. I always do a live stream doing generally my art. Last couple streams I did 3D modeling, which I didn't put last streams up on YouTube yet. I have to fix that after this stream. And then I'll put this one up. So all me sitting here doing an infomercial, which was unintended. Sorry, whatever analytics program is running right now, who's going, wait, is this a paid commercial? No, it's not. Not yet. I would like it to be. I'm glad I was able to sit here and talk about it. Oh, is yelling at me about, do you have a website yet? Working on it. I have one built. I haven't pulled the trigger because, you know, I'm an idiot. Chain Reaction Studios is actually a film company that does commercials on the East Coast somewhere. And if you go to YouTube and just go Chain Reaction, you'll find tons of stuff that's not me. So it's best to go to my Facebook Facebook page. In there you will find in the About Me section a link to the YouTube channel. That'll take you straight there so you can find these. And at some point I'll figure out a way to get me above all that chatter so that when people search me out, they'll be able to find me. But yes, website is there. And if you are interested in t-shirts, coffee mugs, pint glasses, go ahead and cruise through the art that is on the Chain Reaction Facebook page, and you can IM me personally and say, hey, I want an F-bomb shirt. Hey, I want tank tops. Yes, there are all kinds of you can also order tank tops. It is not limited to t-shirts. We also have V-necks, just t-shirts that are V-necks. We do have tank tops available. All of my artwork is available in most shirt types. The company I work with has children's. They have a variety of women's, men's, and different sizes. It goes all the way up to 6X. You know, I should probably, figure out if I know a professional web developer. Do you know anybody, Travis? I mean, just asking for a friend. He has been, for the rest of you, Travis has been on me and on me and on me since we worked together to let him build me a website because, I'm dying out here without one. And he's right. He really is right. I just have not been in a position where I can pay you. I do not want people working for free. I know you offered to do it for free, but my friends should get paid for their work. But let's talk. I've been playing around with Squarespace for building a website, and because Chain Reaction is taken, which is where I was going with that thought, instead of a .com, I'm able to do a .art. Oh, hey, and there's the YouTube channel. And if I get 100 people on the YouTube channel, I can turn that garbage. I know, ooh. I can turn that garbage link into Chain Reaction. But right now, I have 20 people, maybe, following me on the YouTube channel. When I get 100, what's a .art? It's like a .com or a .net or a .org. There are other designations. The .art is a thing. I think there's also .graphic. I'm at 21. Thank you. So when I was messing around with the icky Squarespace, of course you have to get a domain, which is, I think this is where I hit the wall. I was like, you know, building. I need to be able to take credit cards using Square, preferably, or PayPal or whatever. So whatever website, it needs to be able to take credit cards and be secure. And I know that those ready-built places just have it built in, so that's probably my hesitation. But I know you have the skills to do anything, my friend. So I guess we do need to talk at some point and get serious and look at my options. If nothing else, you can help me register the bloody domain, because I did it a couple of decades ago, and now I'm like, oh, things have changed. But we have hit our hour. I build. Oh, you did? Really? Very cool. She's a lovely person. I love her. Travis, for those of you who can't read all the text that I'm reading, has built a website for a friend of mine who is doing wonderful. It's called birdsofparadise.com, which they have lovely, lovely pictures of birds, but they also sell dice, and they make their own dice, and it's wonderful. Travis added me on Facebook. Oh, yes. We can get Jess squared away. Yes, Travis, talk to Sam. Sam is heavily involved in what we're doing here with Chain Reaction, and is probably the what was the title we decided you were going to have? You were going to be Operations. So he will probably get this done faster than me. I'm just the flighty artist. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. Games Operation Director, God? That's my title. I'm sorry. Don't mean to frustrate you. But we can continue this offline. I do need to end the stream. We're now 2 minutes over, going on 3 minutes over. Don't ignore me! I'm not ignoring you. I love you. Yes, Travis, please talk to Sam and see what we need to do to get a site up and running. We do have merchandise, art, comics, and other things. And wow, this infomercial went directions I never. Here's all I got done. Let me show this. This is all I got done on the tree today. With this little over here to remind me to use that color. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I love you guys. You are... I forget how fiercely loyal my friends are to me, and I can't do this without you. I can't do it without any of you. I want you all to remember that you're loved by me, by those around you, and you are deserving of that love. The world's hard enough right now. Don't beat yourself up, okay? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say this is the end of the stream. I do love you all. Thank you very much for all the help you've been trying to hammer me over the head with all these years. Let's make something of this. This is the year we make it happen. So Travis, please reach out to Sam, and let's make this stuff happen. All right, guys? Love you all. Thank you very much. You have an amazing day.